Good morning, Don Pelayo checking in. Today is Saturday, November, is it 23rd, 2025? Um, it has been a rough couple of weeks. One of the one of my coworkers unexpectedly resigned, not yesterday, but the Friday before. So we just had this past week. I've been very busy trying to keep everything running smoothly. Um, a few months ago, we had one girl leave. She was let go, and then we were already short staffed by one, and we've been trying to get things going, trying to find someone to replace her, and then this other girl resigned. So now it's just my boss and me in our practice. So it's just us two now. And boy, I'm going to tell you what, that was it's a lot. I think we're doing pretty well in terms of how we're managing it. Hopefully, we'll have some new people come in shortly. But yeah, it's a little bit of a grind right now. But so I've been pretty busy. I haven't been able to put any material out in a while. I don't like the months ending in R, like September, October, November, December. I don't like January either. We start getting into these dark months, when there's less and less light. I do get a little bit of seasonal depression. I've been dealing with that for a few years now. I never used to feel depressed. When I never felt depression. I was never really depressed when I was a young person. I think the first time I ever faced depression was when I was in the couple of years leading up to my first divorce, my first marriage ending, about 2005. Growing up, I grew up Mormon. A lot of people, I think I've mentioned that before. I grew up in the Mormon church. If you know anything about the Mormon church, it all revolves around family and, families are forever and yada, 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 all that stuff. And so I grew up with that mindset. There were a lot of hard times with relationships are just hard. I've never been very good with it. It's always been something very difficult for me. Um, and now I'm single, and I think I'm just, it's like I kind of feel like maybe I was always meant to be single, because I've always found relationship stuff to be very, very difficult. Um, I don't know. Maybe some people just aren't meant to be married, and I don't know. I anyway, I think about all that stuff. A lot of that relationship stuff, the things that happened, the things that didn't happen, the things that my mistakes. I dwell on my mistakes a lot. It's one of my weaknesses is I don't let it go. I feel like there are certain mistakes I made in life, things where I screwed up, and I just once it was done, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's a big part of me that feels like I should never have gotten married after some of those mistakes. I should have let it go at that point. I feel like I tried to fix it by getting into relationships I shouldn't have been in. And in those relationships, I was miserable. I was trying to live a life that was that wasn't an option anymore. And anyway, you get to a point where you just have to say, this isn't. I have to stop. It's like now I think about dating, and it's like it's not fair. It's not fair to the other person, because I know that my heart's never really going to be in it. I'm just going to be going through the motions, you know. So I need to stay single. That's just where I'm at. Um, so I try to keep my focus. I have a very difficult time focusing on the present. I think a lot about the past. I think a lot about the future. The present has always been kind of a difficult thing for me. I'm trying to keep myself focused on improving my financial picture. I've made some very good progress in 2025 in that respect. I've been working on paying off debt the last 2 years, just eliminating, especially all the unsecured debt. And I don't have any credit card debt left. I do have a car loan, I have a mortgage, and I do have some student loan left. So the student loan I'm going to start working on. I do want to get my car paid off. I'm putting miles on my car pretty fast, and with the door dashing that I do, so I want to get that car note paid down. But anyway, I'm also at the same time trying to build assets, build my retirement accounts, build savings, and of course everybody knows how easy that is right now. It's not easy to do that right now. I did getting all my credit cards paid off has made it a little easier. I have a goal this coming year to make a full IRA contribution on top of what I'm doing in my work retirement plan. So, plus I have a goal for how much cash savings I want to set aside. I also want to give my kids some money. Both of my daughters, I want to put some money in Piper. I have a 529 account set up for Piper. I want to put some money in that. I want to put some money aside for my oldest daughter to give her. I wish I made more. It's like with all these goals, with all these financial goals, my primary paycheck, goes enough to cover my bills, maybe a little bit more, but not much. So I DoorDash in the evenings to be able to do all these other goals. That's what it's for. But then it's like we have, all of our clients. I see all these people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and I'm just like, why can't I get to I just want to get to like 125. And I don't even think 125,000 a year is even that much money anymore. I mean, it's a good amount of money, but it's not comparatively to what it was 20 years ago. It's not really that much. I mean, it would have been like making like 70,000 like 20 years ago. I mean, it's not that, I don't feel like it's that much, especially when you got someone that has all their investment licenses, that has 20 years experience working in the industry, working in finance. I don't think $120,000 a year is that much to ask. I'm not making anywhere close to that. Well, I'll be right around six figures this year with all of my income, including the DoorDash income. The good thing about DoorDash is that Trump, the no tax on tips, all that tip income is tax free, which is nice. That's something new this year, so that's a plus. I don't know why. I just turned on my camera, and I didn't really have anything specific to talk about. I've been feeling a little bit depressed here lately. Any of you guys deal with depression at all? I know that I need to start getting a little more active. I have not been exercising the way I need to, and that needs to become a thing for me. I think that's part of it. I have lost about 90 pounds the last year. Wonders of bariatric surgery. My diet could be improved a little bit. I've been eating too many carbs, a little bit too much fat. Like I've been eating a lot of peanut butter. I'll get like bananas and put peanut butter on them and stuff, and eat those for snacks. I need to get more protein focused. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just talking. Um, so I need to come up with a better diet plan. I went to the store this morning. They had ribeyes 50% off at the grocery store this morning. So I got two big ribeye steaks. I'm going to cut them in half and make 4 steaks out of them. That will last me a little while. And it's difficult when I think about this relationship thing because I do get periods where I feel lonely, you know? I live alone. I have 2 daughters. My oldest is 21, and we talk from time to time. My youngest daughter, she's become a teenager. We used to talk every night on FaceTime. She's not talking to me as much these days, and I think it's that she's talking to her friends. She's got friends and she's talking to them, and I'll text, I'll message my daughter and say, "Hey Piper, how you doing?" And she's like, "I'm good. I'm, talking to so and so or talking." So that's just kind of comes with that age, and that so it doesn't bother me. But it's like this is when it's hard. At the same time, I remember how I felt when I was married too, and I think the marriage thing it was 2 problems. One, it wasn't the right person. I didn't marry the right person, and I should have known. I should have known, and I probably shouldn't have gotten married to begin with. I'm not saying that because I'm not trying to slam my exes or anything like that. It's just where it was me. Deep down inside, I should have known that I wasn't doing the right thing, and I'm just kind of a screw up in that department anyway. I'm just a screw up in that department. It's never been right. I don't think it's ever going to be right, and so I'm better off just being by myself. That being said, I gotta find a way of dealing with some of these negative feelings. Um, I've never been the type to the worst depression that I've ever had was back in 2005, leading up to my first divorce. Um, I was I was in a pretty dark place there for a while at the end of that marriage. Um, my wife and we weren't sleeping in the same bed. I was sleeping on the couch a lot. She would sleep in the bed. I was sleeping on the couch. That marriage just wasn't ever really healthy. I think we were too young to get when we got married for one thing. In the Mormon church, it's very normal for people to get married when they're like 20 years old. I don't think that's always for the best. I should have spent 10 years building myself, preparing myself to take on the responsibilities of a family. That's what I should have done. That's what I would advise any young man today is get serious about building a career, about get the education that you need to provide for a family. And today you need a lot of education. I mean, a bachelor's degree is not going to cut it. I've got 2 bachelor's degrees, and it's you're going to have at least a master's. I wouldn't shy away from pursuing doctorate or getting a law degree, Juris Doctorate. Um, I mean, not even all attorneys make a ton of money, but if you want to do well, and I would suggest maybe going and becoming like a tax attorney. Um, I know one of my friends in Florida, her dad was a tax attorney, and he set up his own financial advisory practice, and he made buku bucks, man. He did very well. Um, he was, he's like in his early 90s now, so he was really making his money like back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, I guess. But in the 80s, he was making like 50, 60,000 a month in the 80s as doing what he was doing. So that should tell you something. Um, but he did very well for himself. So you can make some good money as a tax attorney. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's a tough tax. You have any idea how big the tax code is? That's not an easy thing to do. But I would look into that. I would look into, of course, anything in the medical field. Of course, I don't know. I don't know about the medical field right now. I feel like at some point in the near future, they're going to be making some pretty big changes. The government is going to be making some big changes to our medical industry. I am concerned about that. I would love to see them bring the costs of healthcare down. But the truth of the matter is that you've got these huge salaries. You know, I always thought like family doctors were making maybe 100 to 150,000 a year. Specialists were making like 300,000 a year. It's those numbers have changed. Family doctors are making about $250,000 a year. The specialists are anywhere from 500 to $1 million or better a year, salary wise. I see it. So, so I know that because I work with some of them. So I see the numbers. I'm doing the financial plans for these people, so I know. And I'm just like, it's hard when you see a husband and wife, both doctors, bringing in that kind of both specialists bringing in that kind of money. It's like, holy cow, but they've earned it. I mean, they went through all the schooling and all the, it takes a decade or more, of post high school to get to that point, I don't know. Something's got to happen with the medical industry to bring these costs down. People want to point the finger at the insurance industry. That's not where the problem is. It's the cost of healthcare itself. That's the problem. the salaries, the medical equipment, the facilities, all of that is the reason why healthcare premiums are so expensive. It's because healthcare is expensive. The insurance companies, sure, they're making a profit, but that's a small sliver of the real deal. And the reason I know this, by the way, I used to work for Blue Cross Blue Shield. I hated my time at Blue Cross Blue Shield. It was miserable. I hated it. I'm not a bit, it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. But I saw the bills coming in. So imagine you're a health insurance company. And yeah, you're bringing in premiums. People are paying the premiums, but then you're getting these medical bills, 80,000, 100,000. Just one after another like that. I mean, it adds up fast. And that was back in 2005. I think that was 2005 when I was there, I think. Around that time, yeah. So it's insane, but something's got to be done about the cost of healthcare itself. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not an expert on it, but something's got to happen there. glossing over it with tax dollars is not the answer. The answer is figuring out a way of bringing the actual cost of healthcare down. Um, some free market competition would be good. Right now, it feels like a little bit of a racket. It's like you get these healthcare companies, and they're setting the price, and they just kind of got like a monopoly, or not a monopoly. You just got a few healthcare companies there, oligopoly, something, I don't know. Anyway, it's not a good situation. They're going to have to pass some regulations to get this cost down somehow. The thing that worries me about that is if they start doing that too much, then we might start losing. I mean, we already have a bit of a shortage in the medical field. So we want people to go and get the education. We want to incentivize people to go and become doctors. And that fat paycheck at the end of the day is what incentivizes people to become doctors, but for the most part. But these costs have just got to be brought into check, into some semblance of reality. It's like doctors making $1 million a year. I mean, bring it down to like 700,000 a year. It's like, that's still a hell of a lot of money, and you're going to be able to do anything that you want to do. But it's just, I don't know. Something's got to happen there. I do believe in the free market. I do, but I think right now it's not a real pure free market in the medical field. Because there are just a few big health insurance companies in each region, and it's like they just kind of set the price, and what are people going to do? Not get treated if you need treatment, so you're stuck paying it anyway. So there just needs to be some more oversight in that regard. But anyway, I'm rambling today. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. My brother's coming in from out of town. We're gonna have our Thanksgiving thing this week. I only have to work 2.5 days this coming week, Monday and Tuesday, and then half day Wednesday, and we're done. And Monday we have a Thanksgiving lunch at work. Thursday I'll have dinner at Thanksgiving with my family, my parents, and my brothers at their house. And then Friday, going up to see the extended family, and we'll have another Thanksgiving dinner. So 3 Thanksgiving meals this week. I'm going to put some weight on. The good thing about that bariatric surgery is it controls how much I can eat. And certain things, I'm having a very difficult time eating chicken. I can eat a steak just fine. I don't have any trouble with it. Chicken breast, if I don't chew that chicken breast up very, very, very thoroughly, it goes down and it gets stuck. And it doesn't break down. And the only way for it to come back, to get out, is to come back up. So I had a experience with that last week. So it's not, chicken breast is just, I'm going to have to figure out a way of making it a little bit more easier to eat. Anyway. All right. Well, I'm working on my house today. I have a lot of work to do. I'm trying to get myself motivated. I feel so little motivation right now. I feel tired all the time. And I think it's just the time of year with these because I didn't feel like this. Well, I had more energy in spring and summer. And I don't know. So you start getting into these dark days, and it's cloudy outside, overcast, and it's just, I have very little motivation to do anything. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. There's a lot going on in the news right now. I think I've just decided that there's nothing I can do about Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is going to be a perpetual mess. No matter which party is in charge, it's always been a mess. It's always going to be a mess. All we can do is take care of business here at home, prepare for whatever kind of crazy stuff that could come down the pipe as best we can. I would look for some groups, make some friends in your local area, church. I think we're all going to need each other in the next 100 years. In terms of our society, as our society is going to need each other, because I think America is going to kind of go through a little bit of a tough time. We had it pretty good after World War II because America was the only place that really wasn't wrecked. It's like Europe was wrecked, Asia was wrecked. America was pretty much cool. And so we were the manufacturer making everything for everybody. Now it's China making everything for everybody. I will say Trump's tariffs, a lot of people don't like the tariffs. I actually am willing to let the tariff thing play out. I saw some financial numbers this week that were a bit encouraging about that. CNBC this week reported that our trade imbalance with China, it's down like 25%. We're not importing as much crap from China. That alone put a smile on my face. It's like we need to cut back what we're buying from overseas, and we need to start making more of our own stuff and buying more American-made stuff. That's the purpose of the tariff. He's trying to make American-made goods more cost competitive and incentivize companies to make things here in America. So it's going to take years for that to play out. But when I saw that number, I was like, wow, that tells you that's a big adjustment. In such a short time, I wouldn't have expected to see that big of a move that quickly. So that was a good thing. I think if we can really start looking to buy things more locally, it would really help our local economies, So I know it can be a little bit more expensive, and I know everybody's trying to save where they can, but I think we really need to start trying to buy as much as we can locally made stuff. Go to your local farmers markets, go to some of your smaller stores here, and give the local merchants some business. So help small business people out. Anyway, this is Don Pelayo checking out. You guys have a great weekend. And if I don't talk to you before then, have a great Thanksgiving.